The film begins by showcasing a young boy named Vasily Zaitsev receiving hunting lessons from his grandfather. In order to remain undetected by a wolf, they cleverly use a horse as bait and instruct Vasily to remain as still as a stone. As the wolf charges towards the horse, Vasily, now frightened, is given the command to pull the trigger. Despite his trembling, the brave young boy follows the order, unaware of how this pivotal moment will profoundly influence his character. The scene then shifts to 1942, a time when the world is engulfed in the horrors of World War II. The Nazis have successfully conquered Europe and are now advancing towards the oil-rich lands of Asia through the Soviet Union. However, they encounter a formidable obstacle in the form of the city of Stalingrad, defended by the soldiers of the Russian Red Army. As the battle in the city escalates, a reinforcement unit is dispatched to aid the Red Army. Among the soldiers boarding the train is Vasily, who has developed into a highly skilled sniper. He keenly observes as civilians are forcibly driven away to create space for more soldiers. After a brief journey, they arrive in the city and are swiftly ushered onto boats destined for the front line. The state of the battlefield makes it clear that the Nazis have completely overwhelmed them, and the reinforcements are being sent on a mission with a high probability of death. When this realization dawns on the troops, some attempt to escape, only to be ruthlessly executed by their own comrades for desertion. Seizing the opportunity, the Germans unleash a barrage of gunfire, gravely injuring a significant portion of the enemy before they even have a chance to retaliate. Upon reaching the dock, the surviving soldiers are immediately organized into pairs, with only one of them given a rifle. Vasily finds himself with only a handful of bullets and is instructed to plunge into the battle to assist his comrades. However, he quickly becomes separated from his partner, leaving him with no choice but to remain low to the ground and avoid detection in order to survive. Recognizing the slim chances of victory, a few of his fellow soldiers attempt to flee. But once again, they are mercilessly slain by their own fellow soldiers. In a matter of moments, the battleground becomes littered with the lifeless bodies of Russian soldiers. Shortly after, a somber scene unfolds as a car enters, only to be swiftly struck by a tank. Commissioner Danilov, a member of the Russian army, emerges from the wreckage and seeks refuge among the lifeless bodies, feigning death. With bated breath, he remains motionless as the Germans approach, systematically executing any surviving soldiers. Miraculously, Danilov survives the onslaught and waits until the enemy is out of sight before retrieving a rifle from a fallen comrade nearby. To his dismay, he discovers the rifle lacks ammunition. At that moment, Vasily, who had also been playing dead, approaches Danilov. He selflessly hands over his own ammunition to the commissioner and instructs him to fire when an explosion occurs, ensuring their concealment. However, Danilov hesitates due to his lack of skill, prompting him to pass the rifle back to Vasily. Just as another car arrives and the explosion rips through the air, Vasily astounds the commissioner with his exceptional marksmanship, swiftly eliminating all of the enemy snipers. Impressed by Vasily's remarkable feat, Danilov takes it upon himself to commemorate the achievement. Upon reaching headquarters, following their rescue, he produces pamphlets detailing Vasily's accomplishments, intending to spread the word of his remarkable skills. Realizing the vulnerability of their defenses due to the soldiers' unwillingness to sacrifice their lives, the higher officials of the Red Army confront a pressing issue. To address this, Chairman Nikita Khrushchev intervenes and initiates the reconstruction of the defense system. Seeking fresh strategies, he calls upon his subordinates for ideas, yet receives only the same conventional approaches. However, Danilov proposes a different approach, instilling hope by showcasing a heroic figure who can inspire every citizen to defend their homeland. This suggestion takes Khrushchev by surprise, prompting him to question whether the commissioner himself can fulfill this role. Danilov, in turn, puts forth Vasily as the ideal candidate and secures permission to publish Vasily's heroic tales in the military newspaper. Consequently, Vasily's remarkable skills gain recognition, leading to his transfer to the sniper division. Soon, news of his heroic exploits spreads throughout the country, propelling him to become the symbol of the Russian army and a potent propaganda icon. As a result, the German forces, feeling the impact of the Russian sniper, go to extreme lengths to neutralize Vasily's threat. They deploy Major Erwin Koenig, a renowned marksman, and the head of a German army sniper school, with the sole purpose of eliminating Vasily. During one of Vasily's missions, he encounters a young boy named Satya, who, like countless others, holds great admiration for the skilled sniper. Satya extends an invitation for Vasily to visit his home, where Danilov presents him with letters from his devoted fans that require replies. In due course, a woman named Tanya arrives at the house. She is a member of the local militia and holds a special place within the Filipovs family. Vasily recalls having seen her during his train journey to Stalingrad, hoping that she remembers him as well. However, he is disheartened when she merely recognizes him as the war hero. As the group engages in conversation, it becomes apparent that both Danilov and Vasily develop an interest in Tanya. Danilov even offers her a position at headquarters to decipher German codes after discovering her fluency in the language. Although initially hesitant, Tanya ultimately accepts the job upon realizing the significant impact she can make by saving numerous soldiers through her linguistic skills. The following day, Vasily receives orders to head to a former department store, which has become a troublesome spot due to an enemy sniper posing a threat to the Soviet army. Upon his arrival, he notices a shadow near a window and skillfully eliminates the perceived threat with a single shot. Filled with confidence, Vasily accompanies his comrade Ludmila inside to investigate, only to discover that the fallen figure was a decoy intended to lure them in. Furthermore, Vasily finds a discarded cigarette butt, indicating that the enemy sniper is still present within the premises. Suddenly, a fleet of planes flies overhead, bombarding the surrounding buildings and causing Ludmila to panic. Despite Vasily's attempts to calm her down, she hastily flees, inadvertently drawing the attention of the enemy sniper, Koenig, who effortlessly targets and kills her. In the subsequent scene, Koenig is shown returning to his hideout, where young Satya meticulously cleans his shoes. In exchange for food, the resourceful child provides Koenig with information about Vasily. Once the Red Army becomes aware of Koenig's presence and intentions, they enlist the assistance of Kulikov, Koenig's former student, to aid Vasily. Together with Volodya, another member of the sniper team, Vasily and Kulikov venture into an abandoned building, where a decoy body is arranged to deceive the enemy into believing it is the enemy sniper. Suspecting a trap, they conclude that they are on the right track and decide to relocate to a different area. As they make their way, the enemy sniper opens fire, but through sheer luck, they manage to reach a safe location unharmed. After marking 2 enemy soldiers for potential elimination, they prepare for a well-deserved meal. Volodya momentarily departs to retrieve some soup he left in another room, but ends up getting captured by the enemy in the process. Refusing to divulge Vasily's whereabouts, Volodya is dressed in a German uniform and sent back, disguised as a repairman. Without hesitation, Kulikov shoots him, intentionally revealing their location. He then uses a raised helmet as a decoy, hoping Koenig will take the bait and reveal his own position. However, Koenig, suspicious of their ploy, does not fall for the trap, forcing Vasily and his team to swiftly relocate. In the midst of their relocation, Koenig ruthlessly eliminates Kulikov, dealing a devastating blow to Vasily's morale. Despite the mounting casualties, Khrushchev persistently urges Danilov to continue the sniper duel. Meanwhile, Tanya expresses her desire to be transferred back to the militia. Upon Vasily's disheartened return, Danilov assures him that they will gather more information about Koenig and urges him to convince Tanya to remain at the headquarters. Following Danilov's request, Vasily attempts to persuade Tanya, only to discover that her parents were among the prisoners executed by the Germans, fueling her determination to join the militia and fight. Empathizing with her choices, Vasily supports her decision by presenting her with Kulikov's rifle. In the hideout, Koenig once again receives assistance from Satya, who cleans his shoes, all the while inquiring about Vasily's whereabouts. Anticipating their encounter, Koenig waits eagerly at the location Satya has provided. The next day, Vasily and his comrade cautiously navigate through the pipes, unknowingly alerting Koenig to their presence. As they emerge from the pipe, Koenig seizes the opportunity and swiftly takes a shot, causing Vasily to drop his rifle and seek cover behind a rock. Recognizing that his injured hand hinders his ability to fight effectively, Vasily insists that his comrade return to headquarters while he continues to evade Koenig's sights. Upon Vasily's return, Tanya and Danilov become aware of the perilous situation, prompting Tanya to take immediate action to rescue him. At the exit of the pipe, Vasily persistently tries to retrieve his weapon, utilizing a knife and rope, but Koenig remains relentless, denying him any opportunity. Suddenly, a powerful explosion rocks the entire building, causing glass shards to scatter everywhere, inadvertently providing Koenig with a clear line of sight on Vasily. In that critical moment, Tanya enters through the pipe, determined to help. However, Vasily instructs her to stay back and reveals Koenig's position on a piece of glass being used as a surveillance tool. With utmost precision, Tanya uses another piece of glass to reflect sunlight, momentarily blinding the enemy sniper. Seizing the opportunity, Vasily swiftly reclaims his weapon and successfully shoots Koenig's hand, forcing both parties to retreat. Later that evening, Vasily and Tanya celebrate their hard-fought victory alongside their comrades, finding solace in this small triumph. The next day, Vasily expresses his desire to Danilov to become an ordinary soldier, as the burden of facing Koenig and carrying the title of a war hero has become overwhelming. However, Danilov refuses to accept his decision and resorts to manipulation by exploiting Sacha, who has been working as a double agent. Through Sacha's information, they now possess the precise location of Koenig, and Vasily is assigned one final mission. In the subsequent scene, Vasily conceals himself among the lifeless bodies on the ground, emulating the lessons his grandfather taught him about staying motionless. Memories of the day he learned to hunt replay in his mind as he patiently awaits Koenig. Fatigue eventually overtakes him, causing him to doze off, unaware that a looting German soldier has seized his sniper log. The German command interprets the log as proof of Vasily's demise and plans to send Koenig home, as it would serve as advantageous Soviet propaganda to have him killed. Despite these circumstances, Koenig remains absolutely convinced that Vasily is still alive. Subsequently, an announcement of Vasily's demise echoes through the headquarters, plunging the troops into disarray. Meanwhile, in his pursuit of Vasily, Koenig confides in Sacha, believing that the young boy will undoubtedly relay the information to the enemy. Elsewhere, with no inkling of Vasily's return, Danilov begins composing a declaration of his death when, unexpectedly, the protagonist materializes out of thin air. Learning from Sacha that Tanya has ventured to the station with the intent of assassinating Koenig single-handedly, Vasily and Danilov hastily embark on a rescue mission, relieved to find her unharmed. Overjoyed at Vasily's survival, Tanya bestows a passionate kiss upon his lips, inciting a wave of jealousy within Danilov. Disregarding his responsibilities to his comrades, he retreats to the headquarters and fabricates a narrative in which Vasily has turned traitor. Meanwhile, Koenig, now assured of Vasily's existence, executes Sacha and displays the lifeless body for Vasily and Tanya to witness. Filled with fury, Tanya yearns for revenge, but Vasily solemnly vows to eliminate Koenig on her behalf, urging her to evacuate Sacha's mother. Danilov and Tanya grapple with the dilemma of how to disclose the truth to Mrs. Filippov, ultimately choosing to deceive her by claiming that Sacha has joined the Germans. Clinging to the hope that her son remains unharmed, she seizes the opportunity to escape using the special pass provided by Danilov. While attempting to board the boat, a sudden bomb detonation rocks the area, causing Tanya to sustain injuries and lose consciousness. The doctor, pessimistic about her chances of survival, denies her entry onto the boat. However, Mrs. Filippov intervenes, convincingly claiming that Tanya is her daughter and presenting the special pass as proof, ultimately persuading the personnel to allow her aboard. Meanwhile, in another location, an oblivious Danilov stumbles upon Vasily and delivers the heart-wrenching news of Tanya's demise, burdening himself with overwhelming guilt. Consumed by remorse, he blames himself for the tragedy and decides to surrender his own life by deliberately exposing himself to Koenig. Without hesitation, the sniper seizes the opportunity and shoots Danilov, inadvertently revealing his own position in the process. To his astonishment, Koenig cautiously approaches, expecting victory, only to be met with an unexpected sight, Vasily patiently waiting for him. Accepting his destiny, Koenig offers no resistance as Vasily takes aim and delivers a fatal shot, bringing an end to their encounter. As the chaos subsides, Vasily retrieves his rifle and reverently places it beside Danilov's lifeless body as a gesture of respect. 2 months later, With Stalingrad liberated from the German forces, Vasily receives a letter from Tanya, informing him of her recovery at the field hospital. Filled with eagerness to see her once again, he visits the address mentioned in the letter, and the film concludes with a touching reunion between the two characters.